Okay, this is the first time I've done this. This is going to be the commentary over the Link's Awakening video, just because I want to talk about my process of working through it all. This has been, thus far on the channel for me personally, the longest project that I've been working on. I actually finished the script back in 2021, so last year. It's probably around the same time, probably around March, April, May-ish that I finished the script. And then I started working on the music video portion of it after I came up with the idea of I played Link's Awakening and wanted to do a video on, like, here's my original notes, right? Original notes from when I played through it. And then I want to do a video on Link's Awakening. So I had the script all written out, and it had been done for, gosh, like I was saying, it had been done for a long time. Then I started working on the music bit of it for the music video. I wanted to do, my original plan was to do more of a like a musical of some sort. I wanted to do something in the same vein as if you've ever seen How I Met Your Mother, there's a musical, one of the episodes at the end of it, it's a musical of Barney talking about all of his suits. Nothing suits me like a suit. And I thought that was hilarious and awesome. And I wanted to do something in that same vein. And so I started working on the lyrics of it. And I actually wrote quite a lot, right? Like, so here's the first page. And there's a lot that I ended up cutting out as well. I've got 3 pages of lyrics in here. So the bits that did make it into it, it was 2D or 3D, whichever's better. Is it such a crime to love them both together? 3D is all that I've ever known, but I finally played a 2D Zelda game on my own. And we'll get to that. I'll go through and I want to watch the video as well and commentate over that. But there's a lot that I cut out of the song and the music video itself, because last year, the reason it got delayed an entire year is because as I was working on it, just thinking about how I would go about filming it and kind of the grandeur of this project that I was working on was a little overwhelming. And I got really discouraged after I started working on the song. And I'm just like, yeah, this isn't exactly what I want. And so I just kind of stopped. Like, I just felt like I didn't want to do it anymore, or at least the direction I was going with the song specifically, because this was going to be the biggest, like the grand finale of the video. This was the part that I really wanted to nail, was the music video. And man, it's just too bad, because a lot of the musical bits, if we could have done it, and maybe going in the future we'll be able to have, a bigger budget and just more time, I guess, and I don't know, just to make it more of a production. Because even just looking through my notes, I've got a lot of notes that I wrote down talking about where I wanted to film, what I wanted to have in there, locations. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't, it wasn't working. So I put the project on hold, and eventually when I came back to it, I think I came back to it earlier this year, so it was probably 6 or 7 months that this project, like, the script was done. The script was finished. I really liked the way that the script was. It was just the music video portion of, I liked the lyrics, and I liked everything about it other than just the overwhelming idea of doing the music video and filming it, and I don't know, it was too much, because it was like thinking about filming, like I think I had 4.5 to 5 minutes of the song written, and I played through it and recorded it, and I'm like, man, this just isn't, I don't know, something wasn't working. And plus, thinking about filling 5 minutes of music video footage just kind of seemed overwhelming to me, because I'm talking, for musicals, specifically the way that I wrote this, the first version of this, was I'm talking basically the entire time. And so while I was talking, I had to be on screen singing, or at least in my head, that's what I envisioned was as I'm talking, I need to be on the screen doing something. Something has to be happening, like me physically need to be doing something. So if I'm singing about, Ocarina of Time, I need to be doing something that's relevant to that, or talking about Breath of the Wild, which ended up getting cut from the script. Other bits where I had Thane and Cole would like pause. They were supposed to be in it throughout the entirety of it, and they would pause. Like there's a line here from Cole where it says, and the song would get dark, and Cole would say, "No, you've betrayed your kind. Playing 2 Zelda games is not fine." And then I would stop and put my arm around him, and I said, "Hey, take it from me. Trying something new is a really great thing." So anyway, I can't remember if I posted on Patreon or not already, but I do have the musical song recorded, and it's just me playing it in front of the piano. I was actually sick when I wrote this and recorded it, but anyway, fast forward to probably like 3 months ago, the song that got released that you've probably already heard already, I really liked it. It just came together nicely, and it was like, man, this is it. I really like the way that the song goes. Some of my singing could have been done better, but I'm not that great of a singer. Anyway, after I got the song written, it was about 2 minutes long. I felt way better about that. So then Cole and I, probably a month or two ago, we sat down and we storyboarded the music video portion. So if you look here, here's the start of it right here. This is the first panel. So we literally went shot for shot of how we wanted to go about doing this, and even working on some of the transitions. So like this here, this is a whip transition into the next shot, which you'll see on screen. I just wanted to show this here. We literally shot for shot, and honestly, this is the first time I've storyboarded anything, let alone with Cole. The first time I storyboarded anything with Cole, but let alone just storyboarded in general. And it made everything so much smoother. Like in my head, I was so just relieved about how everything came together. I was so excited. So honestly, I think from here on out, whenever I do projects like this, again, something that is kind of this big, you know what I mean? This is kind of, for me, this is like my big summer project of what I wanted to get done this summer. I wanted to do it last summer, but like I already told you the story. So anyway, it's kind of fun going shot for shot. And I'm not going to show you the storyboard shot for shot, but like, as we go through the music video, and I'll pull this back up at the end, you can see going through from the beginning of us arguing, and then I stand up and I start walking towards the camera. We did have to change this a little bit just because we didn't have anyone else in the room with us filming. I could have gotten, my brother-in-law or my sister to come do it, or even our other roommate, but for just time, we spent probably 2 or 3 hours working on this anyway, so it was, like I said, time was kind of a thing. And anyway, it ended up working out, and I'll come back to the storyboard as we go through, but I just kind of wanted to talk through everything because there's lots of stuff throughout the, I'm going to pull up this, going back here, and I'm going to hide my webcam as well. But like I said, since this script got written a year ago, there's lots of things that I changed throughout the script. There's lots of things I still wanted to change, but it didn't end up happening. So anyway, in this first shot, we just have Cole and Thane arguing, talking about 2D versus 3D, because I guess it is kind of a big debacle, or debate rather, amongst the Zelda community of which is better, 2D or 3D. And like I talked about in this video, prior to me playing Link's Awakening, the only other game I played was Phantom Hourglass, which I had as a kid. It was one of my first DS games I got back in like, gosh, I don't know, 2007 or 8, whenever it came out. I don't know when it released, but it was fun. I remember playing through it, and it was kind of before the era of YouTube walkthroughs. And when I remember there was a part I was stuck on that I searched high and low on the internet to find how to figure it out. And what it was is there was a puzzle where you have to actually close the DS. You have to clamshell it shut, and then it takes something from the top of the map and throws it on the bottom. And I actually did that accidentally. I was stuck on the... that's a trap joke right there. If you don't know what a trap is. Anyway, yeah, I closed the DS, and then because I went somewhere, I think I got frustrated. I left it on, so I just closed the DS and came back to it later. And when I opened the DS, the puzzle was solved, and I'm like, no way, I figured it out. So anyway, that was my introduction to 2D Zelda games, and it was fun. I'm not sure why I didn't get back into it around that time, even when Spirit Tracks came out. I wish I would have bought it then. I do have it now, but I searched for probably over a year to find my copy of Spirit Tracks. This is also interesting really quick too, before I go back to Spirit Tracks, is the 3D Zelda games have sold better, and they've sold more copies, even though there's less of them. There's more, I worded that wrong. The 3D games, there are less of them, and they have sold more copies than the 2D Zelda games, which are far more copies than, or far more games, rather, released 2D games than 3D games. So it is interesting. The sales does point towards the fact that 2D games, or excuse me, 3D games have sold more copies. That doesn't mean they're better. They've just sold more and are more popular. Obviously, Breath of the Wild really helps that out with selling almost 30 million copies. But yeah, going back to Spirit Tracks, I was seeing here, this is where I was looking for Spirit Tracks. This was a while ago. But I've been wanting Spirit Tracks for a while, but you find it on eBay between $70 to $80, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying that. So it was about a month ago, I actually went on GameStop and I found Spirit Tracks for $45, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to get this now. So I bought Spirit Tracks, and in my head I was thinking, well, GameStop's notorious for just throwing away their DS cases. So I was like, okay, well, it'll probably just come in a cartridge, but they shipped it, and I got it, and I'm like, in my head thinking, well, it's just gonna be the cartridge. Open it up. It was the full, complete SIB version of Spirit Tracks. Super excited. I was blown away, and I'm like, man, did I just get lucky, or does GameStop actually ship SIB online? Well, recently I bought some more games from GameStop, and no, it's their shitty GameStop cases, so I just got lucky with Spirit Tracks because it is incredibly expensive, along with a lot of other handheld Zelda games, which I did talk about in the video earlier, that finding physical Zelda games is difficult, especially now. I mean, with collectors on the rise and wanting classic retro games, I mean, I think I found in the wild, I have found at one of our local game stores, I think it's Oracle of Seasons? Oh no, it was Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy. Game Boy Color specifically, it was, I think I found it for like $35, and I'm like, damn, like, do I really, really want to buy an inferior version of Link's Awakening when I already have the Switch version, obviously? And so I just decided not to get it, but I don't know, maybe one day. I would like to own all the Legend of Zelda games physically, not every iteration of them. Like, Cole, for example, has so many iterations of Wind Waker, and I don't even own one. I'm fingers crossed hoping they'll re-release it for Switch. I do own the Wind Waker case because it was my uncle's, but the game is missing, as you'll see in the behind the scenes of just a little outro, or you can watch the behind the scenes on Patreon already. But yeah, I don't actually own Wind Waker. I want to get it for the Wii U as well, but it's just expensive. It's like $50 for GameCube, and it's like $40 for the Wii U, which, I don't know, it's not that bad, but in my head I'm thinking, well, why would I want to buy those versions if they're going to do a Switch port, which I don't see why they wouldn't do a Switch port. I feel like they're just printing money at that point. Really hoping for Twilight Princess as well, that they'll do the same, but I do own Twilight Princess on the Wii. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm hopeful because they did release Skyward Sword on the Wii, or excuse me, on the Switch. So I think I'm just gonna wait out on that one. And I do think that if they do release it on, if they do release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Switch, hopefully it drives prices down, because both Wii U versions, Twilight Princess being more expensive, which is like $80 to get the Wii U version of Twilight Princess, which is the HD and the better version. But yeah, I don't know. was still tons of fun to explore and discover.
Video game collecting is an expensive hobby, but it is fun, and I enjoy it. So another thing I wanted to point out that I didn't actually talk about in the video was the camera. Link actually is not centered on the camera of this game. It just depends on which way you're walking, but you'll either be more to the left of the camera or more to the right of the screen, excuse me, not the camera. So the camera isn't exactly centered. Sometimes it is. Sometimes Link will be in the exact center of it, but most of the time it's not. He's walking off to the left or right. And then another thing, too, that I didn't talk about with the combat specifically is Z-targeting is a very big aspect of the 3D Zelda games. And in these 2D ones, you don't Z-target, obviously, because you don't have to. All the characters are on the same playing field, so you don't need Z-targeting because there's not a Z-axis that you're having to worry about. And all in all, my excuse me, drink some water. All in all, my experience with Link's Awakening, man, I had so much fun with it. And I was really worried coming back to doing this as I read over the script a year later and reworked it out a little bit better. Man, it's been so long since I played the game. Am I really satisfied with where the script is after I went back through it? And I pretty much was. And it was a fun game. I still remember a lot about it. And working on this video a year later has jogged my memory, I guess. But anyway, it's a really fun game. I definitely recommend it to anybody that likes 2D Zelda games or has never played 2D Zelda games or just is a Zelda fan in general if they haven't played it, because it's a fun one. It's just a fun time. It's a cute game. There's lots to it, and it's really not that difficult. I didn't use a walkthrough at all. If I ever was stuck, like I mentioned in the video, I would just dick around or walk around until I figured out where to go. There are some hints, like you can go to this phone booth guy and he drops hints, but I didn't use them as much. I did not 100% this game. There are like 50 of those shells. I believe there's 50. And I just didn't find them all. You can. You have it's like a sensor. I think it looks like a tuning fork, but anytime you get close to one, it starts ringing or something, and then it kind of helps you figure out, oh, hey, I'm close to one of these shells and what have you. And I did not get all the heart pieces, but I did pretty damn good. I got a lot of hearts. I don't think that's the most I have there. I think I was only missing 2 or 3 heart containers by the time I finished the game, which we'll see at the end. We'll see how many heart containers I had, because I do show a clip of the final boss. This was a little funny bit I added in there. I think I'm going to start adding in little subtext like that, because I think to me, it gives personality to Link, the character himself, of this is probably how he would have acted, or how I probably reacted in the moment. And so, I don't know, I just thought it was a little funny to add little bits in there, which I might start doing from here on out with my videos. And it also, gives people another reason to actively be watching, because they might miss something I put on screen, but who knows. Then I got this little montage here at the end. See, I only missed 2 heart containers. You can see right there. But that guy, if you steal from him, he zaps you when you go back into the shop. So yes, you can steal from the shopkeeper in this game. But the dungeons were all really fun too. The layout of this game is just awesome. It's impeccable. It's very, very clean and polished. And if you play it now in 2022, it's just a fun game, and it's very polished, for lack of a better term. It's just good. So anyway, this right here, this is our opening shot going through the storyboard of Cole and Thane are arguing. I'm in the middle of them. That's our first panel. And then we were originally going to do a zoom, but like I said, we needed a camera op. So I stand up, and Cole had the idea of, how about you walk towards it, and we're going to do a whip transition, but just have me pick it up and whip it. Also right here, I had to slow down the footage. I don't know if anyone noticed or not, but I had to slow it down because my lip sync was too fast. So then I pick up the camera here, and then I whip it into our next shot. Which,
this shot in and of itself was supposed to be cool because I'm talking about 2D Zelda games and 3D. So 3D was over the shoulder, 2D is now from top down. But Cole couldn't see. It was really bright, and also it's really shaky and janky, and I'm kind of sad the way it turned out, but hey, what do you do? This rap section of the song is my favorite. My favorite part to work on, favorite sounding of the song. It's just awesome. Yeah, I'm just recording a voiceover, like a commentary of the Link's Awakening. But yeah, the rap part was my favorite. Still my favorite part of the song, but this whole music video was just awesome. I'm really glad how it turned out. And like I said, the storyboard that Cole and I worked on just made everything so much smoother. Some of these sections I'm not like in love with. Like this shot I'm not in love with, but I don't know. I think there's some charm to it, and I do like doing these little music videos that we have in our song. I think this is the third or fourth one that I've worked on. I think this is only the second one though where I actually wrote the music instead of having the music and just changing the lyrics. And then this solo right here, this guitar solo, I was so stoked when I wrote this. I thought it sounded pretty cool. And I gotta admit, I'm not the best at mixing music. I try to do my darndest to make it sound good. I'm not a professional producer, but it's so much fun working on these music videos. Also, I have an incredible amount of Zelda things. All of those, except for maybe 2 games, were mine.
Cole, what's this? Sky, you're awake.
Then here's a shot of the 2 Coles. So that's kind of how we're linking together. Yeah, see, not Wind Waker, it's Lego Star Wars. Anyway, there's a whole lore of RadKatz where we're talking about, it's like the RadKatz cinematic universe, kind of like Marvel and whatnot, but anyway, that's kind of what that shot is, tying that in together, so. But going back real quick through, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the storyboard, just because of how helpful it was. Like I said, we went through it all, but you can see on the back of this page, it starts over here with me in the bedroom, laying on my bed, talking about how 3D was always, or how I found a new love, but it doesn't mean you want to give up your other one. And then I am holding them both and dancing. Then we cut to the boys dancing here, and then I take Cole's Wind Waker and give it to Thane, and Thane's Links to the Past and give it to Cole, and then it cuts to the guitar montage, and then all the outro bits here and whatnot. So anyway, I'm sold on this storyboarding. I wish I would have done it earlier. And you probably don't always need a storyboard, just when it's necessary. Yeah, see, this is even in my 2021 notebook, but yeah, I don't know. It was just a fun project. Glad it's finally done, though. My big summer project of the year. So thank you so much. It doesn't matter when you come back and watch this. If you watched it 2 or 3 years from now, we appreciate you. And as always, keep it rad.